Welcome into this Thursday afternoon edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Palmer, Neal McCready, Clark Ford Studio. We will be with you for our normal amount of time today. Again, a show this afternoon, not tonight, as Neal already dressed over here, ready for Chargerette Senior Night coming up here in a little while.
Big day.
Who they play?
Chargerettes just get recognized today for being phenomenal.
Okay. Oh, the game's not today. It's still tomorrow.
Game's
okay.
tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I thought the Crosstown Classic was
game
tonight.
Game is tomorrow.
Oh,
I have my Chargerette T-shirt ordered. I think it's ready to go. I'll wear that tomorrow. Yep.
Okay. What's it look like?
I don't know.
Did you design it?
I did not design it.
Okay.
It was designed, and when the people asked what T-shirt we wanted, I said I wanted a Chargerette shirt. And they're like, really?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Chargers are on their own. They do their own thing. I'm not with the Chargers. I'm with the Chargerettes. I'm there to see the Chargerettes.
So anyway, tonight, as while we're doing that again, we'll do a Saturday show. We'll bring you details of that very soon. So we'll all watch the football together, hang out on Saturday. It's a bit of a dress rehearsal for us as well. Although I have a feeling we're going to need a much larger dress rehearsal prior to September 26th.
We got some different things. Let me turn that down. We got a lot. We're going to have to do a separate dress rehearsal.
Yeah. Somebody asked in the thread the name of your pod with Chris Landry. I'll let you promote that.
It is SEC Football and Beyond. We tape every Tuesday and Friday at 9 a.m. Central Time. So we'll tape tomorrow. We'll talk SEC East, preview SEC East tomorrow. We did SEC West on Tuesday. And had some people ask, is that how we're going to do it each week? No. We're just getting to the start of the season with some different shows. Once the season starts, we'll talk about the whole league. We just took this week to divide it so that we could kind of go in-depth on the 7 programs in each division.
So the podcast here, the Oxford Exxon Podcast, brought to you every day by the, obviously, Oxford Exxon, all Blue Sky locations in Mississippi. You can use the Speed Pass Plus app to fill up with fuel there right at the pump. You don't have to touch anything. You don't have to go inside. You just pay right there on the app. It's easy. You move on with your day. They also have the plastic sleeves to help out from a virus standpoint. Don't have to touch anything. You can use those to fill up at the pump and move on with your day. Again, Oxford Exxon and Blue Sky, and coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are coming to you from the Clark Ford Studios. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi. Call Corey Clark at 662-257-1900. Call the number, ask for Corey Clark, tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line, no hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around, or you can do what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today. You will love the product. You will love the service. Corey and the people at Clark Ford do a great job. They want to be your car guy. They want to be your truck guy. They'll prove to you what that means when you make the call. 662-257-1900. Guest, join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters is open in New Albany. 50% capacity allowed. You can even stand. You can even stand at New Albany. So also Rafters on the Water is open this weekend. Still plenty warm for a weekend at Sardis. So it's there at the Sardis Marina. Rafters on the Water. And then Rafters on the Square here in Oxford is open as well. Be a great place tonight to go watch the NFL open up. Chiefs and the Texans at Arrowhead. That game, I think, kicks off at about 7:15, 7:20. So you could hang out at Rafters, enjoy some great food specials, great drink specials as well. And then this weekend, college football, NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball, and then, of course, more NFL on Sunday and Monday. So it's almost like it feels quasi-normal, and you can enjoy a quasi-normal weekend and everything that comes with a day at Rafters. Rafters on the Square, Rafters in New Albany, or Rafters on the Water at Sardis.
7:20 for the start time tonight between the Texans and the Chiefs. Again, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube, I know probably most of you have. However, I saw during yesterday's show we added 3 during the stream that had not, so we appreciate that. Just if you haven't, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell, you get notifications. It's free. It's doing nothing but taking you like a second and a half, and it really just helps us out over time, so we appreciate that. Yeah, we'll open some packages on Saturday. We'll do some different stuff. We'll have a good time. Kind of make it hand raise guys with football on. That's kind of the goal there. So we'll do that. Today feels like football. Maybe it's Neal's picks. Maybe the NFL being back. I don't know. It's other than being humid as hell outside. It's got a weird football feel today where it's like, okay, like maybe we're good here. Maybe everything's all right. I know that the stands are going to be whatever tonight in Arrowhead, but it's going to be okay. We're gonna play some football. We're gonna go over Neal's picks here a little bit as well. Which caption were you most proud of this morning as you as you inserted Neal's picks?
I don't know. Probably the Florida State one.
It was really good. I spit coffee on that one this morning as I got to it.
As I wrote it, I chuckled to myself.
Because there's some you have free spaces like J.J. Watt and different things. You've got to take the extra step for the.
I did like the J.J. Watt with his hand raised. I mean that was.
It was really good.
It was an easy shot to take, but it was funny.
Yeah. Roethlisberger, most of us don't have the criminal record to go along with Ben, though. That's the only thing with Big Ben that
true.
it's a little bit whatever. If you have no idea what we're talking about, go to rebelgrub.com. Neal's picks up there. You can read captions. Usually our picks are completely secondary to the captions every week for most of our listeners and our readers. So we appreciate all of you. But yeah, 7:20 Texans Chiefs tonight, and I don't think anybody's. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at. All right, we got because it's the.
You want to start here instead?
Well, go ahead, but I was reading in the thread about Johnny Sins, and someone said, "I've never watched porn, but if I did, come on."
So apparently, a tweet was embedded into our site from Barstool, I believe is who it was, that they had figured out that an adult film star has made the Ole Miss Heroes Cup that has been.
Well, he's a very versatile person.
Is it like? I haven't looked very closely, and I'm not aware of this certain adult male. Or is it? We're 100% sure it is him. It's not like, hey, this guy kind of looks like, but it's literally him.
I mean, I have not had an opportunity to research this because you and I found out about this as we were starting the show. So I'm sort of learning as I go. Johnny Sins is his real name is Stephen Wolf. I'm reading this off Wikipedia, so I assume
a couple people on our live stream say it's for sure him.
Okay, he's an American actor, director, and YouTuber.
Okay,
he is noted for his shaved head and muscular physique. So he must be, without the muscular physique, he must be one of the real stars of the industry, I'm guessing.
Okay.
He is consistently among the most popular searches in that genre. He's received many accolades for his work, including 2 nominations for the AVN Award for Male Performer of the Year.
What does that stand for?
AVN. I will pull that up. Don't know what it stands for. It is an award that is given annually by that particular industry. Looking for AVN to see what it stands for. AVN stands for Adult Video News.
Okay.
There you go.
So a publication.
That is correct.
Okay.
The New York Times notes that AVN is to that genre of films what Billboard is to records.
Oh. So it's the thing.
It sponsors an annual convention called the Adult Entertainment Expo, or AEE, in Las Vegas, Nevada, along with an award show for the industry that's modeled after the Oscars.
They're saying you look kind of like him. It's your doppelganger.
Yeah. That probably will not be a career that I would go into if this falls apart, but thank you.
Maybe AVN more than the actual acting. Maybe AVN's hiring.
Maybe I could write for AVN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Anyway, yeah, we'll see where the internet takes that throughout the day. It appears to just be getting off the ground right now. So we'll I'm trying to get to the segment without any double entendres or anything. I'm making it so far. So anyway. All right, Chiefs Texans tonight, Arrowhead, 7:20. Only one believer from a line standpoint. nobody is taking the upset, but Mr. Berry, and I'm sorry, Jeffrey is the one person that's taking the Chiefs to cover this line. 9.5 just felt really big. Like I don't know what the deal was, but it just the empty crowd, no preseason. I just thought sloppy. This thing could be kind of close if nothing else. It'll just be fun. I mean, two pretty high profile quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean,
two highly paid quarterbacks now.
Yeah, now two quarterbacks who have gotten the coin. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, and they both deserve it. They both had phenomenal careers so far. Yeah, like I wrote in picks that if this were a regular opener, I think I'd be all over the Chiefs. But the Chiefs have had some opt-outs. The Chiefs are breaking in a new running back. It's not going to be the same thing at Arrowhead that it normally would be. The Texans are a solid team. And Watson's a really good quarterback, and they're adjusting to life without Hopkins, which remains a move that I'll never understand. I mean, egos aside, you can't just give him away. So I like the Chiefs to win, but that's a lot of points in an opener like that. In an NFL game, 9.5 points in the NFL is a lot of points.
Is there any way to predict what teams handle all this crap better than others? I mean, we talked about the Saints in some ways just from a continuity standpoint. Because, I mean, you have teams that have been together. You're not having to do some of the other stuff. But for the most part, the NFL's been all systems go. I mean, there really hasn't been a lot of actual procedural differences for them as they've gotten through their preseason.
Just no preseason games.
Yeah.
No, none of the inter-squad stuff where, like, the Ravens play the 49ers for 3 days or whatever. Just stuff like that. Just different. I mean, you have to generate your own energy. You watch some baseball games that look a little flat, and it's because players are and players have admitted it. Yeah, there are days that you show up at the park and you're like, thank God there are people here because I've got to feed off those people a little bit. They don't have that. Day after day after day, they have to kind of create their own energy. And the NFL, it's 16 games. It's a different deal. But early on, I don't know. I don't think that's going to be the issue as much as I'm expecting it to be a little sloppy first couple of weeks. NFL teams, that second and third preseason game, especially the third, is kind of like a dress rehearsal. Play a half with your starters. Maybe even the first series of the third quarter. And then you get them out. And then in the fourth game, everybody's just nowhere near available. But they didn't have that this time. So teams that are putting in new systems and stuff like that, I'm not crazy about them.
You take road teams more because of the lack of crowd? Road teams that win at a higher clip this season?
Yeah, probably a little bit. Just you don't have to battle some of the noise stuff. I mean,
and the feeding. I mean, there are 4, 5, or 6 places around the league that.
I mean, Seattle, for example.
Oh man,
it's so loud.
They won't know what hit them.
I mean, the Seahawks might not win a game all year.
The 12th man is handicapped.
You literally lose a man on every play. In a league where the margin of difference between a good team and an average team is very thin, you being down a full man for 8 of your games is brutal.
I say the crowd stuff matters, and I think it does in the playoffs to some extent, but I'll be honest. The Saints have had years where they sucked at home, even with whatever, and been pretty good on the road. Like it's the NFL. Like you said, the margins are so small in everything that happens in that league that it almost seems like things are coincidences other than anything else. But I think I agree with you. I think just from the standpoint of already having to create your own energy as a road team versus that still being the case, and then them having to create their own energy too, that does feel like it's worth something.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know what, but worth something.
And then just early in the season, like the Giants with the new coach, even Tampa and New England with veteran quarterbacks, but new quarterbacks in new places, do they get off to a super fast start? I mean, I think, Tom Brady, Cam Newton, they're fine by week 2, week 3, but in week 1, are there some kinks that have to be worked out that you would have normally worked out in week 3 of the preseason? I think that's a fair thing to wonder. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen for sure, but if I told you that both of those guys got off to shaky first halves in their first game with their new teams, you wouldn't say, oh, that's stunning. So I get it. They didn't have a preseason. So things just can be – and if you're off just a little, the NFL, the way the game moves, a half can get away from you pretty quick.
Are the over-unders lower because of the lack of preseason?
You know what? I haven't even looked. The over-unders. That would be.
I'll pull it up in a minute. Let's do it now. I know it's not a great pod, but hold on. Won't take long. Vegas odds, NFL tonight. The over-under is 53.5. So,
That's a little
about right.
down.
That's,
Yeah.
between those two teams.
Yeah.
Looking for any that really strikes me, the lowest of the week is the Jets and Buffalo, 39.5 on an over-under.
Yeah.
I mean, two teams that are not prolific offensively.
I actually think the Bills have a chance to be pretty good this year.
Cincinnati and the Chargers, 41.5 on a total.
Is Burrow starting?
I don't know, is he? He was named the team captain, so I would assume so.
Oh, probably so.
Tennessee and Denver, 41. Yeah, nothing crazy from a total standpoint. And this may be the highest one of the week, even though potentially it's down on where it would have been. I know NFL totals are down anyway versus college, obviously, but yeah, that is the highest over/under of the week. The only other one that's anything is Dallas and the Rams are 51.5 or 52. So anyway, yeah.
How much NFL will you watch opening weekend?
The same that I would typically. I don't currently have Red Zone the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I used to watch it, pretty religiously. I just leave it on Red Zone all the time. I will watch tonight. I'll be pretty interested tonight. I just kind of want to see it. I want to see what that looks like with the crowd situation, the whole thing. I'll obviously watch the Saints on Sunday. And I'll flip other than that. I think it'll have to strike me to make me really focus in on a full game at that point.
Yeah, I'll flip tonight between Chiefs and the Cubs. Sunday I will watch. I'll watch the Bears in the opener, and then I'll watch the Saints game with interest, and I'll watch the Sunday night game. I'll actually watch a good bit of NFL this weekend. I expect
more than you would have without the pandemic, or same.
Oh, maybe a little more. Maybe a little more, just because I'm glad it's back. But I'm always drawn to the NFL a little more than I'm drawn to the random college game. I'll watch SEC games and stuff like that, but, like Notre Dame, Duke on Saturday, it'll have to be compelling to keep me there for any length of time.
Yeah.
There are people, and I'm not making fun of them, and we all like our different things, but there are people who will watch a college football game if it's on. I'm not that guy.
Will Clement says he's watching Miami and UAB in the NFL game equally tonight. He will be in the minority.
Oh, that's right. That game's tonight.
Mm-hmm. We didn't pick that one though. You didn't give that to us.
I guess I should have. I didn't see it.
We had to make sure we got ULM in there. So you only have so much room. So
yeah. Well, I have to. I've got a new intern staff, and so we're. Again, no excuses.
Kinks and whatnot.
No excuses, but the pandemic completely messed everything up.
So what year is this ULM Florida State photo from?
I don't know. I don't think it matters. ULM won the game.
ULM playing Army this weekend. We've become kind of Army fans around here. We have paraphernalia and things.
Yeah, we got stuff.
Yeah, I was kind of looking for it. It's around here somewhere. We have stuff. Army is a 17-point favorite over the Warhawks on Saturday. They hopefully will fare better than their other counterparts in the military, the way Navy looked in its opening game against BYU over the weekend.
But if they don't, they don't. Better be ready.
You and I both picked Army to cover this game. Jeffrey picked Army to cover this game, and so did Zach. So we're 4-0, all picking Army to handle ULM. I'll tell you, I did this pretty quickly. I didn't even think about the not Army necessarily, but just in general, ops out, who was not playing, who was playing, what anybody looks like. I have no idea. That is where I'm more disconnected, because we didn't have our entire preseason shows of, hey, let's do this conference and these schedules and let's go through this. We kind of did some organic prep in some years, just talking about teams.
Yeah,
there's none of that.
I couldn't do it. Even there were people who would email me and say, and it was valid, I always responded, why don't you guys preview the season some? And I just said, my heart's not in it. It's not because I don't want it. But I just couldn't make myself preview something that I didn't necessarily think would happen. And that was all it was.
Did you feel like you were going to jinx it?
No, I just wasn't sure it was going to. Look, man, we're 1 month removed from. What day was that?
I mean, I know the day you're talking about.
Campbell Campbell had gone back to Fayetteville. So it was like August the 6th. So it was that weekend. And I was here by myself, and the Big Ten shut down, and the Pac-12 was shutting down, and there was a lot of talk about the SEC being on the brink. I wasn't emotionally prepared to discuss much football at that point.
It's hampered our Neal's picks percentage potentially is what it's done because we know nothing else about any team whatsoever as this thing moves on. But whatever, it's football. It'll be on. They'll play. Somebody will win.
I'll turn on ULM and Army at 12:30.
Will you?
Yeah.
It's on TV?
Yeah, it's on CBS Sports Network.
I did see that. Yeah.
No, it'll right there in picks.
Well, I don't have it up right now, so.
At least I think it is.
We'll continue talking about picks in a second. First, about Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. They're a leader in condo financing. You can also ask about the float down option, which allows you to lock in the current rate, but if rates go down before you close, you get the lower rate. They're located in Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. Jason there to help you out. 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
Podcast also brought to you by Bain, Moss & Bowen, located in historic downtown Corinth. Their firm practices a wider range of law from DUI defense to car wrecks to representing government entities. Bain, Moss & Bowen is the only firm in Mississippi made up of a sitting state legislator, a former assistant district attorney, and a former circuit court judge. Their experience is unmatched in that regard, and you can tap into it by visiting them at 618 East Waldron Street in Corinth or by calling them at 662-287-1620. Also brought to you by Whitney McNutt of Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors, serving you for all your real estate needs in Oxford and Tupelo. Whitney sells condos, land, commercial, and residential family homes, and you can get in touch with her at 662-567-2573 or 662-842-3844. We're also brought to you by Bluff City Advisory Group, dedicated to building the future you desire. Founded in Memphis in 2019, their team is comprised of established and seasoned financial experts who came together to serve individuals and families of their beloved hometown. The firm is built on decades of wealth management experience, and they've seen it all. Their financial advisors have a reputation for professional excellence, and their clients rely on their high level of confidence and integrity. So whether you need guidance on developing a financial plan, creating a customized executive benefits program for your business, or preparing a detailed asset allocation analysis, Bluff City will provide forward-thinking, cost-effective investment strategies customized to fit each client uniquely. 901-365-3447 or email Ben, that's Ben, at bluffcityadvisory.com. And we're brought to you by Oxford University Bank, OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB offers its customers the absolute best cash checking account. It's called Kasasa. And with Kasasa, OUB will pay customers 2.5% interest on their balances up to $50,000 and refund ATM fees nationwide. With Kasasa, OUB also offers online bill pay and mobile check deposit using the online app. Learn more, go to liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured.
Random interaction on Twitter, and interaction's way too strong, but our live stream tweet telling everybody to come hang out, it was liked by, it popped up on my phone because it's a verified account, liked by Dave Weasel. Dave Weasel is a stand-up comedian that peaked at number 1 on the Billboard comedy chart for 5 straight weeks and has 512,000 Twitter followers. So,
is that right?
Yeah, I don't know what's up, but he fat-fingered or liked our live stream tweet at some point in the last 20 minutes.
We should get Dave on the show.
We should. Dave, reach out. If you're in the stream, holler at us. I don't know.
Absolutely.
He's born in Canada, but maybe he's got some Ole Miss connect. I don't know.
I don't know.
Knows? Yeah, he's here. So
maybe he just likes Neal's picks.
Yeah. Anyway, just seeing that a minute ago. Miami is a 14-point favorite tonight. What would you have done?
You know what? I probably would have.
I'd have taken the points with the UAB.
Probably would have taken UAB in 14 points.
So they're going to have the turnover chain, but it's going to be sanitized in between people grabbing it. So I think we're going to be okay there. I did see that somewhere on the news, on the internet over the last day or two. Thing is, you're pretty sure I'm serious too, right?
I wouldn't be surprised at all if someone told them they had to sanitize the chain.
Yeah, here you go. I'm reading it here. You want the story?
Sure.
No.
Yeah.
I'm reading from local10.com, assuming a TV station in the Miami area. It's finally game week for the Miami Hurricanes. Canes kick off season Thursday night, blah, blah, blah. We're talking about the chain. Where are we talking about the chain?
Oh, this is Mike Cameron's kid right here for the Tigers. This is his first Major League at-bat.
Oh, really?
I loved Mike Cameron when he was in the bigs. This is his kid. I think his name is Daz or Dez. What a cool moment. This is one of the things I hate about the no fans allowed. This is a moment. Think about, as you look up the story, think about how many games this young man's parents went to. From Little League to, I'm sure he played travel ball somewhere, to high school, to in the minors. And here he is in this big moment playing his first Major League game.
And nobody's there.
Facing Jack Flaherty at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, a park that his dad played in countless times. And there's nobody there, including his family. That just sucks, man. Like Casey Mize made his Major League debut not so long ago.
Yeah.
Think about how many times Casey Mize's family went to watch Casey pitch. Whether it was Little League or high school or Auburn or travel ball or Team USA or minor leagues. And then he pitches for the Tigers and they can't go watch him pitch. It just bugs me. Anyway, sorry.
They used the headline on the story, but then at the very end, it's actually in the very last paragraph. I know we're shocked by a TV station writing the story.
Yes.
That they said they would wipe it down after every use.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the way it was. It was phrased.
Sorry.
We're getting asking here. I know you probably put this in 10 thoughts at some point. What's your predicted order of finish in the SEC West?
I don't know that I've done it yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. SEC West, though, I'm going to go with Alabama 1.
You think they're going to hold off A&M?
Yeah. I'm either going to go LSU or Auburn 2. And then either LSU or Auburn 3.
Okay.
Probably go A&M 4.
Okay.
Probably go Ole Miss 5, State 6, then Arkansas
7.
last, yeah.
Yeah, I saw Feinbaum jumped on the whole freeze to Southern Miss thing too.
It's
just low hanging fruit.
Yes, it's a can of corn, which is exactly what Daz Cameron hit in his Major League debut. But you know what? That's one more at bat in the bigs than I'll ever have.
He's in the books.
You damn right he is.
He's in the books.
Yeah. It's just so easy. That's what bugs me about Paul.
Is somebody going to raise their salary 4 times? Is Freeze going to take a $1.5 million pay cut? No one looks at any actual numbers. It's just, oh, well, he's a Southern Miss guy. Well, I mean, sort of, I guess. Sure, great. Sounds great.
If you're Southern Miss, is that who you want?
Yeah.
Does Hugh Freeze move the needle in Hattiesburg right now?
Does their booster want Hugh Freeze or Derek Nix?
To me, it's a no-brainer.
Derek, you take Derek.
All day. Absolutely.
Who would you go after if you're Southern Miss? Do you make Will Hall say no?
Well, I make him say no, but I think he would.
You take a shot at Will?
Yeah. Will makes a ton of sense.
He does, yeah.
I think he would say no. That's a tough job, even with all of his connections in the state. Because let's be real. I don't care what you're doing. You're taking the leftovers.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, we talked about this the other day. You're fighting those other teams, and frankly, you're not number one anymore. I mean, you're just, you know what I mean. I mean, it's not 1996.
So, I would go after Will. I'd make Will tell me no, and then when he told me no, I think I'd go hire Derek Nix. That's what I think I'd do. Derek knows a lot of people. I think he'd throw a ton of energy in it. He could recruit that area. Has a lot of connections in the state. High school coaches that like him. Why not? And if it didn't work, no harm, no foul. Because you're not particularly good now.
So will the next coach at Tulane? Or does he jump out and get somewhere else?
He's the next coach at Tulane if something happens quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd hire him in an instant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sourced on that. That's a better job. It's a significantly better job.
Well, it's in the American. I mean,
it's just a significantly better job. I just don't know that the Sun Belt is a good job.
It's Conference USA.
I think Liberty's a better job than Southern Miss.
Yeah, but I think that's not even close. Just if nothing else, your independent schedule is better. I mean, I really do believe that.
And he's up there where he's sheltered. And Hugh is still searching his name in Twitter. It's a problem coming down here. It's going to become a story. People are going to do it. They're going to pick on him. It's going to come up in recruiting. I just don't know why you would subject yourself to that.
Derek's got to be on the list. Like, if not, I don't know what we're doing. I mean,
Derek makes so much sense the more you talk through it. It's like, that box is checked. That box is checked. He played there. One of their more famous alums.
The flyover media never mentioned him.
Isn't that weird? I mean, other than Brett Favre. I mean, obviously, take Favre out. Favre had a legendary NFL career. Take Favre out. Derek Nix is
He's up there.
on their Mount Rushmore, isn't he?
I would think.
He had a great career there. It was a big deal.
This is going to sound whatever, and I don't mean it in any way bad. Derek, in all honesty, he's been able to hang around so long over multiple staffs, and Southern Miss would stay with this. I mean, he's seriously going to have complete and utter full pension through the state when he's done. I mean, seriously, not even making a joke. I mean, it's –
Well, and for him, unless he just doesn't want to be a head coach, it would be an absolute no-brainer to take the opportunity. I think he could assemble a pretty good staff. He could get some young guys that had been GAs on staff that he had been on and that kind of thing. He could give people some opportunities. He could put together a young, kind of vibrant staff there, which is the route that I would try to go if I were them. I wouldn't hire retreads.
He ran for 1,000 yards in 3 of his 4 seasons in Hattiesburg.
And the only one that he didn't was
the injury. Yeah,
when he had was it a kidney?
Kidney,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he played in 5 games and frankly barely played that season. But the other seasons he ran for 1,180, 1,054, and 1,194 in those 3 years.
I mean, Ryan St. Marie makes a really good point in the thread. He says, never hire your heroes. It sucks when you have to fire them. Yeah. But if you're Derek, and again, I've never talked to Derek about this. I don't know whether he wants to be a head coach. But if he wants to be a head coach, this would probably be his best opportunity.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Yeah.
So you would have to do it, and you'd have to tell yourself, hey, if it doesn't work out, it's kind of my thing with Matt Luke, in many ways. One of the things that sucked about Matt not working out at Ole Miss is that this is home. At some point you come back, and you hope that you're not defined by that.
If you've never been a head coach, and you got to think Derek would take it.
I would think so. Again, I've never discussed it with him. He might look at you and go, you know what? I don't want to be a head coach. It's not something I aspire to do. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think Matthew's right in the thread. He has nothing to lose taking it. It's a complete free shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
total free shot.
If it works, great. If not, well, everybody else sucked too.
If it doesn't work, it didn't work. If it didn't work, it's as much a product of it not working as you not working. Again, I mean, I think he could put together a pretty vibrant group of young people. Knows a lot of people, could win a lot of the backup recruiting battles in the state. could get that kid from, say, Noxubee County or Louisville or whatever that, doesn't have an offer from Ole Miss or State. I think he could win a lot of those battles.
And you're in Conference USA. You can win games with that.
And that's where Will Hall could win a ton of battles now. Will could recruit the fire out of the state from that perspective.
Yeah, just if you've got Tulane in the bag as your worst case, you're waiting on Tulane. You're only jumping if it's a real reason to jump. Would Will jump as a high-level OC?
He'd have to really think about it,
Yeah.
To go to like a top 15 program?
Yeah, you get the keys as an OC somewhere.
Yeah, I think so.
And try to skip that step that he would have to take to move up. Yeah,
like in Oregon or something. Yeah, he'd have to do it.
Yeah, you take that OC job to jump into the top tier or jump into a big school, an SEC, ACC kind of gig, instead of trying to go, hey, do you take Tulane? Do you take, East Carolina, whatever? I don't know.
Yeah.
One of those type schools.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Duke and Notre Dame, you mentioned that a little earlier in our show.
Here's a point before we wrap up this.
Sure.
JD makes a really good point. He says Nix could probably build a better staff than Freeze could.
For that job? Yeah.
He absolutely could.
Yeah.
One of the big flaws for Hugh Freeze as a coach is he doesn't have enough of a network to assemble much of a staff. When people would talk about Hugh Freeze getting a big-time SEC job or whatnot, that was always, I would say, who's he going to put on his staff? He's going to have an AD who can put a staff together. Yadier Molina hit a home run. I'm sure everyone in Cincinnati, St. Louis is celebrating.
2-0 Cardinals.
Yep.
In I don't know the inning.
Bottom of the second in a 7-inning game.
How many of these are we doing? Just doubleheader days?
They got a bunch of them coming up.
Really?
Yeah, they don't have another day off the rest of the season.
Yeah, it would be a niche staff for Nix at Southern Miss, but that's fine. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to put together a staff for that job.
It's a niche job.
Yeah. Figure out that job.
Yeah,
and
it's not a blueprint job. It's a niche job.
Yeah. It's first hit. Okay. Duke, Notre Dame. Duke plus 19.5 at number 10 Notre Dame. 1:30, of course, on NBC for this one. Notre Dame, a member of the ACC completely this season. They can win the title and everything, unless except for the whole Clemson thing. So let's see.
I laid the points.
Everybody laid the points but me. I'm the only one that took Cutcliffe to keep this thing close, keep it inside 20, and in South Bend.
I think Notre Dame's going to be good.
You think they're legitimately good?
Yeah, they have a good quarterback.
Ian Book?
Yeah.
Top 10 good? Top 5 good? How good?
Top 10 where you have no Big Ten and no Pac-12? Yeah,
well,
sure.
Okay. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Because every damn body's in the top 20
By the
almost.
way, the writers who put those teams, everybody goes, well, we were told to. Yeah, but they're not playing.
Whoa, huh?
The AP put the Big Ten and the Pac-12 schools in their top 25. The preseason top 25. And I'm like, but why? Well, they told us that we were supposed to consider them. Yeah, but they're not playing.
So what do you do? Do you move them out once a game is played? Does Ohio State move up to number 1 of the country when Alabama loses? What
That's
happened?
what I'm asking. Their winning percentage will be .000.
0-0 Ohio State ends up 8th in the country at the end of the year?
That makes no sense. They didn't play.
I know polls are stupid and don't matter, but
I took them out. My AP poll, I always do that. It's one of my things.
Because you had UAB and ULM in this week.
Well, I put ULM in. Steve Spurrier would always put Duke at number 25 in the first poll, and so that gives me the right to put ULM at 25 in the first poll.
Spurrier did always give him a vote.
Yeah, because Duke gave him his first job.
1 vote. Here you go.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. Georgia Tech plus 12 at Florida State, 2:30 on ABC. Mike Norvell making his debut as a Seminole against Jeff Collins, who's done a pretty good job at Tech so far, just kind of assembling everything, putting a Georgia Tech level machine in place in Atlanta.
I just don't like Norvell much.
You really don't.
And I don't like Florida State much. And if you're out there and you're in Tallahassee, don't take this personally, but I covered some games there, and I always hated it. I'm not a big Florida guy unless it's on a beach.
You like all? You don't like any of the Florida schools for the most part?
Not really.
Because you don't like Miami at all.
Not at all. I mean, I don't like the state of Florida much unless I'm like sitting on
But
a
I've
beach.
never noticed a lot of hatred for the Gators.
I don't hate them, but I don't like them. They're fine. I'm not crazy about Gainesville.
Where's Florida fall on just your SEC team pecking order? Just you're watching a random game and they're on, and like who do you pull for
Who
them
do I catch
for?
myself cheering for Florida against?
Yeah.
Ooh, not many.
A&M,
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Alabama, Tennessee. I don't like Tennessee at all much, really. Probably shouldn't keep saying these things when I'm trying to sell a show.
Yeah, get that clip out there. We'll hate half the league. That's about it.
That's about it.
I don't know though.
I would cheer for Kentucky over Florida by just nature.
Something about Kirby bothers me though. I'm actually pulling for Florida to win the East this year.
I am too.
I don't know why. I have no real reason, but I kind of like Georgia not winning, getting kind of close and being good, but can't pull it off. I'm for Florida this season.
I know this is not popular where I'm about to say this, but I think Dan Mullen's kind of entertaining.
Well, that's fine.
Kirby's kind of grates your nerves.
Yeah.
Mullen makes me laugh.
Mullen is more palatable than Kirby.
Yeah. Mullen cracks me up.
I know. But
Secret Mullenites.
Here's the deal. Mullen is more palatable as the Florida coach than the Mississippi State coach because he's not playing a character.
Yeah.
He's not trying to be the weird local yokel for Starkville and the whole
he's being
deal.
himself
and
now.
He's just comfortable now
He's
at
being
Florida,
him.
and it's whatever. And it's
Yeah.
kind of funny at times, and it is.
Yeah,
what
it is funny because he can kind of tweak at Georgia a little bit in a way that it's funny there. When he was at Mississippi State, he had to pretend to be so focused on Ole Miss.
Yeah. Now,
And the truth is, I never got the impression that he hated Ole Miss. I got the impression he couldn't stand Freeze. And quite frankly, Freeze asked for a lot of that. We're just being real.
the kissing thing is weird now. Don't get me wrong.
Megan
but
kissing all the players.
Yeah. It's kind of strange.
So I was asked in my mailbag, do you think she keeps kissing or are we doing butterfly kisses now with COVID and all?
Well, yeah, she's not going to do what she has been doing. I don't. Yeah,
You don't think? Not kissing every player?
No.
What if she got tested on Friday?
Stop. No. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. If she did, however, though, she really could use an immune support med pack. Those are available at G&M Pharmacy and Tyson Drugs in Oxford and Holly Springs because they've got a great 30-day supply of vitamin C, zinc, NAC, probiotic, vitamin D3, and more. They work together to boost your immune system, lung health, GI regulation, immune regulation.
Great point.
They think they're a perfect combination of over-the-counter supplements to prepare your body for a dangerous virus if you go around kissing a lot of people. So stop by Tyson Drugs in Holly Springs or G&M on South Lamar in Oxford, 662-236-2222.
Speaking of kissing a lot of people, we're also brought to you by John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. You're like, where are you going?
You going to get there?
You'll see.
Okay.
Taking a Magellan-like route to where I'm going.
Was that easier to say than circuitous?
Is it circuitous?
It's circuitous.
You circumnavigate the globe.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Okay.
John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. Maybe you're thinking about just getting away post-pandemic. Maybe you're looking for some sort of a golf trip. Maybe, I don't know, a couple's cruise to Mexico or something. You could get in touch with John. He can take all the responsibility away from you. You don't even have to be a supervisor of that trip. You just say, here's what we're looking to do. This is where we want to go. This is roughly our budget. And then you can just kind of let everything just hang out, chill out. And John will come up with options on his own, and you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387. Send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. It's a podcast that is also brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. Pinnacle Trust based in Madison, Mississippi. Been around, more than 20 years. They've got clients in more than 20 states, advisors in multiple states as well. At Pinnacle Trust, investing is treated like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, Pinnacle Trust will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, and put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan built just for you. It's pintrust.com. That's PINN trust.com. Mention you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You'll get 10% off your first year's fees. We're also brought to you by the Iron Horse Grill. It's located at 320 East Pearl Street in Jackson. It is also a one-stop shop for beverage services for a 250 to 500 person wedding or even a 3,500 person gala. It's one of the largest beverage caterers in Mississippi. It can service the entire state. 601-398-0151 to get in touch with Sarah Black for all of your catering needs. That's the Iron Horse Grill located at 320 East Pearl Street in Jackson.
I took Georgia Tech just because I don't know, for whatever reason I jumped on underdogs pretty much the entire week. It wasn't on purpose because I started looking at the game. It's almost 2 touchdowns. Florida State, frankly, has been fairly bad at times. They did make a coaching change. It's not like they've had a ton of upgrade there from a talent standpoint. I don't know. Feels like Tech. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I like Tech to cover.
Did you take Tech to cover too?
Mm-hmm.
Did everybody take Tech to cover? Yep, everybody took Tech to cover. So through 3 games, only one has any differences at all. The Green Bay Packers plus 2.5 at the Minnesota Vikings. I took the Vikings, getting my given the 2.5.
Yeah, I did too. It's been a tumultuous summer for Aaron Rodgers.
I saw you made fun of Aaron this morning.
I was really making fun of Danica.
Oh yeah, you said Aaron's okay.
Aaron's fine.
You don't know that. He could be. I mean, it could
Well,
really affect his game all year.
He switched to some actress I'd never heard of before.
Switched, huh? Is that the word?
Well, yeah. The way that Danica
fell in love.
Sure. The way that Danica Instagrammed, you got the impression that she'd been dumped by Aaron.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the Vikings could be a pretty good team. It's not sold on the Packers. Feels like we don't talk about windows closing enough with them.
The Vikings are such a nightmare for me that I can't put them in a box. I can't figure out what to do with them. I mean, they have wrecked my dreams over the last 3 or 4 years. So I'm in a weird spot when it comes to the Vikings. There's a lot of respect there.
That's a uniform that when you see it, you sort of shudder.
Well, look, I wouldn't trade my 1-09 for those two, but it's been pretty rough over the years from a Viking standpoint.
I feel you.
I mean, the miracle one was worse than this last year. This last year, the Saints just didn't play worth the crap. They still should have won the game, but
the Saints should have gone to the Super Bowl last year, and they blew it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah. And I don't like their chances this year. I just don't. It doesn't feel right.
Well, Flaherty's a stud. He's so good.
Neal said something nice about a Cardinal.
He's terrific.
Did anybody take the Packers? No. No one took the Packers. Buccaneers, Saints, 325 on Fox. Already screwing with me in week 1. I took Tampa to win straight up on the road against New Orleans. Neal picking the Saints to cover the 3.5. Jeffrey taking the Saints to cover the 3.5, and then Zach taking the Buccaneers to sneak a cover in there with a 3-point Saints win.
I've got the Saints barely covering. It actually should be a really good game. Tampa's got a nice team. They've got pieces to have a nice team.
For years, it's been the year,
yeah.
and they've kind of sucked. And then
I just don't know how much Brady really
is
has
Brady
left.
Dynamic enough to carry them?
I mean, his reputation.
I get that,
but his body of work. I just thought last season he looked done at the end. Now he might be reinvigorated.
If he is great, but I don't believe in Brady as much as some people do. That's kind of where my hang-up is with this.
I don't believe
now.
in this Brady, right? 5 years ago, Tom Brady.
Sure, whatever. That's not the point.
Sure, of course.
I mean, frankly, I don't know that I believe in Breeze.
Breeze was really good until the playoffs.
Until he wasn't. He's been bad in the playoffs.
Too bad. No hitter broken up.
It's the top of the third.
I hate that.
Tigers any good or are they bad?
They've been okay.
Are they?
Yeah, a lot of nice young pieces.
How's Mize been?
Gotten hit pretty hard.
Has he?
Gotten hit like a rookie pitcher gets hit.
Okay. Steelers at Giants. Pittsburgh -5.5. 6:15 ESPN for this one. I really like the Steelers in this game.
I do too.
That line did not feel big enough. I was more than happy to jump on Pittsburgh with 5.5.
I think the answer for the Giants is to make a trade and get Trubisky in New York. I mean, and don't trade a bunch of picks away. Just trade Barkley. Barkley for Trubisky. No one says no. Make the deal.
That'll get it done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems like that works a little better for the Bears in that scenario.
I mean,
but
maybe, but just
not supposed to put your whole franchise on a running back though.
no, right.
I tell
right.
you that. I mean,
you make a quarterback the franchise. Get Mitch Trubisky in New York. Nice guy. Smart guy. Make him the face of the Giants. Because you never know what the running back might get hurt, dinged up.
Well, now that is true. Tampa Bay will not have 31 interceptions this season. He will not throw as many picks as Jameis did.
No, he won't. Now, I don't know that he can make some of the throws that Jameis can make.
I mean, pure talent, not the problem with Jameis Winston.
Winston's problem was
decision-making.
Well, and one interception often led to two. He had a very difficult time putting a mistake behind him. He'd press. And when he had a bad game, he had a bad game.
Think he's the quarterback of the future?
I don't know.
Can he be rehabilitated by Sean Payton?
If anybody can rehabilitate him, it's Payton.
Reeves hangs it up. Next year, opening weekend, Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston, the starting quarterback.
If you told me it's one of them, I'd say it's Winston.
Okay.
If you told me they went out and did something and got a quarterback, I'd believe that. It's one of the reasons I was surprised they let
Bridgewater.
Thank you.
Well, they had no choice. It was play him or trade. I mean,
yeah.
it was. He was going to be a starting quarterback in the league.
From a timing standpoint, I have a feeling Peyton wished the timing would have worked out a little differently.
To hold and I
think he liked Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, well, I mean, hell, played really well.
You read the story about that day that he got hurt in Eden Prairie when he was with the Vikings?
No.
Really unbelievable. In the ambulance to get to the medical facility, the trainer for the Vikings says to him, Can you feel your feet? Can you feel your foot? And Bridgewater admits that I can't completely feel it. And the medical guy, without panicking and without letting Bridgewater get panicked, got the message to the driver, speed up.
Really?
And was able to communicate, be ready, we have to move quickly here. Not only saved his career, but very likely saved his leg. How about that?
I can still remember seeing the highlights in the day it happened. Like in my head, I can go there.
I mean, how about a bond between two people?
Oh, dude. He's going to be really good. He really is. Like he impressed the crap out of me with the Saints last year.
Well, just his mentality, the way he embraced that role.
Everything was good. I mean, it fit. He played well.
Well, that's one of the reasons I thought the Saints were going to do something. I thought that middle of the year break for Breeze, where Bridgewater carried them,
and he still crapped out.
I thought he'll have more gas at the end, and he didn't.
Brought it to my attention a little earlier in the day. Rockets had a little faux pas in their situation.
The woman.
The Rockets termed it personal reasons. in quotes.
The woman wasn't supposed to be in the hotel, technically. And she may or may not have gone to his room. And the doors opening. Apparently, they have sensors on the doors. They can tell you when the door.
Oh, really?
They can tell you like when the door opens in a room, which feels like a little bit Big Brother to me. But they know when your door opens, and his door opening and closing matches the time frame for her to get in and out of the hotel. But I'm sure she was just there to.
She was a COVID tester?
She administered tests. So I'm sure she was there to make sure that his test.
He was really cautious.
He was being very careful, and he wanted to make sure that his test was administered properly.
Okay. So you're really giving him credit here for being above and beyond.
I think he was making sure that he did not spread the virus there inside the bubble during a playoff series. I mean, I think he deserves a lot of credit for caring about the rest of his teammates.
We talked about this from the very beginning, that was one of the concerns in the bubble. And it's only been a couple instances. For the most part, it's stayed pretty above board.
I mean, yeah, they've done a pretty good job. I mean, you got to give, and there's two things here. On one hand, you've got players who are used to being professional athletes,
sure,
who probably aren't used to 2.5 month slumps, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have players like Kyle Lowry, who went 2 months without seeing his kids. And when like you see the scene of his little boys running down the hallway there at the hotel when they saw their dad for the first time. These are real people with lives outside of basketball. And they've handled it pretty well. I know a lot of people have criticized some of the social justice stuff, and they had the weird 3 days there where the Bucks kind of acted on their own, and the league had to figure out how do we get around this without blowing it up. But they've been able to do it. And like that game, was it yesterday, Raptors Celtics? The double overtime game was as good an NBA game as good of a sporting event as you'll watch from a competitive drama standpoint. And that Game 7 tomorrow night will be. Look, if you like basketball, you're watching that Game 7. And if you're the Heat, you're like, yeah, just wear each other out.
Have at it.
Have at it. Play all night.
Yeah, from a compelling standpoint, you've got today at 6 o'clock, Lakers and Rockets. Lakers up 2-1. It feels like this is going to end in 6.
Yeah, I think so.
You think 6?
6 or even 5. Rockets are kind of a mess right now. Westbrook's not playing well. Now they have this thing with House. I don't know how that gets resolved. Kind of feels like that's not going to be. Kind of feels like that's going to be a problem.
Let's see. Game 7, as you mentioned, from an NBA standpoint, that is tomorrow. That is at 8 o'clock. At 5:30 before that, the Clippers have a chance to advance. They're up 3-1 on the Nuggets, and they're just a better basketball team, frankly. It feels like that's maybe it goes one more, maybe it goes this one, but either way, the Clippers are in no trouble whatsoever.
No, right now today, the Clippers are the best team in the NBA.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Right this moment today, they're the best team in the league. The way they're playing.
You would pick them right now to win?
Yeah, because Paul George is playing well, and Kawhi's playing at a super high level. And then the Heat are fun, but I don't think the Heat can win the.
You think they've got to their?
Well, I think if they happen to win the East, they don't have much of a chance in the finals. It's Spoelstra's best coaching job ever. They're a fun team to watch, and an absolute indictment on the Bulls organization every single time that they play a game. Because the Bulls said you can't build around Jimmy Butler, and Eric Spoelstra has done it. They built that team around Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic and Bam Adebayo, and they're fun. Duncan Robinson. And Jay Crowder.
One of Carson's favorites.
Just a bunch of dudes. Yeah. An old Andre Iguodala comes in and fills a role. They're kind of fun to watch. The kid that used to play at Notre Dame, the white guy with kind of a ponytail. I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head. They just play a bunch of guys.
They still haven't said what they're doing to open next season, have they?
No, they've moved the draft back to November, which tells me that they're looking at a Christmas start. I think they're starting to talk about the idea of that being a permanent schedule for them. Starting at Christmas time, playing through July.
Well,
makes so much sense.
You avoid more than the NFL.
Well, you start.
Yeah.
You start at the time that the NFL fantasy leagues finish.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, you compete with the NFL playoffs, but that's just your first week. You still get Christmas Day basically to yourself. Then a lot of the NFL ratings in the regular season are fantasy related. I know that's shocking to people that it's gambling oriented, but it is. So you okay, and then. Now the bulk of your season is in a time of the year when the NFL's not a factor. NFL's not a factor May, July, really. Nobody's afraid to compete with Major League Baseball right now. I mean, Major League Baseball has so few marketable people right now, and then the people that are marketable, everybody hates them. Like Trevor Bauer's funny, and he's great. One of the best pitchers in baseball, and everybody's mad at him all the time.
Let's see.
Yeah, it was Olenek. And Olenek was Gonzaga. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Not Notre Dame.
Yeah, it was Kelly Olenek, who I was thinking of.
Grand asking, does NCAA basketball have MLB, does college baseball? What do you mean? What are we talking about there?
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand.
I mean, there's still such a make sure we're okay. I'm getting a little bit of a weird YouTube thing. Yeah, we're fine. There's still a disconnect between Major League Baseball and college baseball. They don't get on the same page with anything. They fight every little bit of decision to try to figure out what's best for everybody involved. It's one of the weirder deals. And some of it's because there's like a leverage. I mean, the MLB is so much more of a product that can kind of move it wherever they need to move it.
Yeah.
And college baseball is just at their whim a little bit, but that's
We'll tell you this. The Neal's Picks are brought to you by the College Corner. It's your one-stop Rebel Shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area in Ridgeland. It's next to Fleet Feet, and in Flowood, the College Corner is next to Half Shell. So if you don't live in Jackson, that's no problem. You can visit the College Corner at collegecornerstore.com, and you can also find them on Facebook and Instagram. So whether you're tailgating in Oxford or homegating with friends and family, the College Corner has you covered. For game day, they have the largest selection of Rebel gear in central Mississippi, and through the month of October, mention Rebel Grove at checkout and get 15% off your entire purchase. You can also use it online. Just put Rebel Grove in the coupon tab at checkout.
So let's see. We'll close around there. Football-wise, we got a media op with Lane Kiffin tomorrow. Or sorry, not Lane Kiffin. Players tomorrow. Lane is earlier in the week. They tell us we're going to go back to Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week. I have no idea if that is accurate or not, but as of now, that appears to be the case.
Yeah, and then after that, we get into this game week, which is going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Point being, it's a little all over the place. We'll tell you when we know exactly what's going on.
Sure.
Players tomorrow, though, so we'll have coverage at rebelgrove.com of that and more. And then, a Saturday show as we get closer and closer to game week. I mean, we're sitting here 16 days away as of right now.
And speaking of, just a couple weeks away from the first Ole Miss football game of 2020, and our friends at Blue Delta Jeans want you to know they're here for your game day needs. Whether you are one of the lucky few to make it into Vaught Hemingway, or if you plan to watch the game at home with some socially distanced friends, a new pair of Blue Delta jeans are just what you need to look great, feel comfortable on Saturdays. Their new line of 4-way stretch cotton pants come in 12 colors, including a great new powder blue for the Ole Miss fans. So drop by the Oxford studio or DM Blue Delta at Blue Delta Jeans on their social media, or email info, that's INFO, at BlueDeltaJeans.com for more information. And remember, just because you won't be in the Grove this year doesn't mean you don't need to look your best for game day.
So plenty more on those guys and more as we get getting closer to the college football season, at least for Ole Miss and for the SEC. 16 days away from that, as I was saying a second ago. Back with you on Saturday. We're going to have some fun. Again, it'll be kind of a hand-raised guys, kind of one of those shows where we just let the day evolve, play around on the stream, and see what you guys want to talk about. And, again, watch some college football at the Power 5 level. So thanks for joining us today. Be back very, very soon. Take care.